Hey guys, it's Katie, and welcome back to That Time When, my podcast where I spill all of my stories and secrets and everything to give you guys all the advice I wish I had that time when. Today's episode is not really an advice episode. There's not like a real theme to this episode. I'm kind of just telling you guys what's going on in my life lately. I'm just really trying to give you guys like a life update and talk about what's going on with me because I feel like I actually have a decent amount to talk about right now. So yeah, today is Thursday when I'm recording this. You guys are hearing it on Monday. So as you're hearing this, I've been living back at my parents' house for about a week now. I moved back in with my parents. I'm not gonna get into the details or anything, but that's all you guys need to know really is I'm living back with my parents for a while. It's been interesting so far. So I have a lot of siblings. For those of you who don't know, I'm one of 5, and I have 4 siblings, and 3 of them still live at home with my parents. So it's kind of like just being like I mean, obviously it is like being back at home. I'm literally back at home, but like it's kind of like being back at home like when we were younger. And it's good and bad. I'm very grateful that my parents were able to let me come back and like there was space for me and everything. I'm not in my old bedroom, which makes me sad. My old bedroom was like very large for a one person's bedroom. It was very big. I had like a really big closet. I loved that bedroom. There was like windows on almost every side. Like I loved that bedroom so much. But when I moved out last year, my brother moved into my old room. So I'm now in his old room, which has been serving as the guest room for a while. So I'm living in his old room. It's much smaller. It's not a small bedroom. Like it's fine. I'm not trying to be dramatic here. Like it's literally fine. There's so much space for me. It's really not a big deal. Shockingly, all of my stuff fits in the closet, which I did not think it would because it's like a standard size closet. And the closet I used to have in my old bedroom here was like a very, like, it had like 2 doors that opened. It was like a huge rack, like pole thing. It had all this space for my shoes. It had like a storage space in the back. It was huge. But I've downsized a lot over the last year. I've gotten rid of so many clothes over the last year because I am like a hoarder when it comes to clothes. I'm one of those people who's like, I know this fit me back when I was a size 4, but maybe I'll be that size again, so I should just keep it just in case. I've given up on that, by the way. Like, if it doesn't fit me now and I haven't worn it in like a whole season, like whatever the season was that it was like acceptable to wear that item, I just get rid of it at this point because I'm probably not going to wear it again. And it's probably also out of style, so I just get rid of stuff now. So I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff in the last year. So shockingly, all my clothes fit in this closet. However, my shoes do not. I have a large shoe rack that's like a rolling rack for shoes. And that's in the storage closet across the hall from my bedroom because that's the only place it would fit. So, yeah, it's definitely smaller. I posted a picture on my Instagram kind of what this room looks like. Maybe I'll do like a little room tour on my Instagram stories because honestly, the room does look really cute. My old bedroom at home was like Tiffany blue. It was, at the time I painted it, I loved it. And I very quickly grew to absolutely hate it. And I wanted something neutral, but like I wasn't going to ask my parents to let me repaint my room again. So I just lived with it. But they have repainted all the rooms, all the bedrooms in our house since I left. And so this room is like tan and it just matches all of my decor much better now. And it's just a lot more neutral. It's much more my vibe nowadays. I like very neutral decor. So it definitely works a lot better. But anyways, it does look really cute. It's just smaller, but it does fit my queen size bed and like my dresser and my desk and my tall mirror and all that. So like it does fit everything just fine. It's very comfortable. I'm happy being in this room. It's all good. But like I said, being back at home with like all of my siblings, my older sister is the only one who doesn't live here anymore. And she only lives like 15 minutes away. So she comes over a lot. So I do still see her like all the time. But being back at home is interesting. Like I said, I'm so grateful that I can be here, and there's a lot of reasons why it's going to be great for me to be here for a little while, which I'll talk about in a second. But I mean, obviously, when you grow up in such a large family, like we're not that like picture perfect family that you see like on TV or anything. No, I don't think there's any picture perfect families on TV. Like the Kardashians all fight, like those bitches still smack each other in the face. But yeah, that's more like how my family is. So being back at home, it's like I don't want to say we're fighting, like we're not, but it's just like it's a lot of people under one roof. So it's just always like loud. It's always a little chaotic. And I definitely was used to like the quiet and my own space. So trying to readjust to living in a space with so many other people all of a sudden again is like I got so used to not being like that, even though that's how I lived for years and years. I just got so used to like everything being mine and everything being where I wanted it to be and having my routine in my own space. And now I'm having to like totally readjust my routine. And it's honestly been really hard for me. I've been totally out of my routine since I've been back here. I was living at my lake house for a few days or so before I moved back into my parents' house. So I've been back, like, I've been out of my apartment for like almost 2 weeks now. Um, and it's just like so hard to get back into my routine just because like I said, everything was mine. I had all my stuff in one space. Like I knew when I got up, like I was going to go to the kitchen, make my smoothie, make my coffee, go sit at my desk, like do some work, do some calls. And then like, I had like my whole day built out and it was just like I wasn't navigating around anyone else. So like my routine was just my routine. I didn't have to take anyone else into account. But now living back at home, especially with so many people, it's like I just have to readjust everything. Like even just getting up in the morning to make my breakfast, like there's other people in the kitchen, or like if I want to make something for dinner, like my mom's probably cooking, so like I can't be using the stove at the same time she is, you know what I mean? Like it's just everything has to readjust. And also like it's not like I'm cooking that much now that I'm at home. Honestly, I've just been like eating whatever my mom makes or like whatever my family gets for takeout, which is kind of nice. I kind of did miss that, especially because I didn't have a dishwasher at my apartment, which I got used to doing dishes, but that's not to say I didn't like hate doing dishes. I did hate it a lot. Um, but it's just like trying to figure out everything again is not easy because I feel like even just like where I would do everything, obviously my space is totally different. So just figuring out like where I'm going to do certain things, like with gym's closed right now, like I have to work out at home and I do have space in my bedroom here for it. But like I would work out in my office at my apartment. And the one nice thing about being back at home when it comes to workouts is like we have a treadmill in the basement here. And I'm so excited because that's the one thing I've really been missing from the gym for the last few months is some sort of cardio machine. Like I've been doing a lot of like HIIT cardio and stuff, which I hate so much. My favorite way to do cardio is to literally just walk on an incline on the treadmill for a while. I do that for like 30 or 45 minutes and I enjoy it a lot. But I couldn't do that because the gyms were closed. So now being back at home and having the treadmill here, I'm very excited about. So like maybe my workout routine at least will get better. I don't know. I honestly have been slacking. I haven't worked out in like 3 weeks. I did work out once a couple days ago, but I haven't worked out in like 3 weeks. So that's one thing I like need to figure out fast. And also my eating routine has been off. I was eating pretty healthy when I was living on my own just because like I was in control of the groceries we were buying and like the food I was making and all of that. Like I was doing all of that for myself. So I had a lot of control over what I was eating. But here, like I was saying, I eat mostly like what my mom makes, what my family gets for takeout. And like that's not to say I couldn't still go to the grocery store and like buy my own groceries and cook for myself. But also, when you live in a house with as many people as I do, there's not a lot of space in the fridge for like my own whole grocery shop. You know what I mean? Like I can't just go to the store and buy a bunch of shit and have space for all of it. It just is not the situation right now. So that's kind of shitty, but my goal for this week is to get back on track and start getting back to my workout routine, start eating as healthy as I was eating before. I'm not like the most healthy eater, like let's be realistic. I eat pizza a lot. But I was eating pretty good compared to how I've been for the last like week or two. So I need to get back at that. Especially because I just booked a girls trip with my friend Ashley to go to Miami at the end of July. I know travel might be controversial right now. We've been keeping a really close eye on like the travel restrictions and all of the guidelines that are in place right now in Miami. And we did book totally refundable flights and hotels. So like if the end of July rolls around and we don't feel like it's safe to go, like we can cancel it and we won't lose any money. So it's fine. But at the moment, we are planning on going. And we did splurge on like a nicer hotel room with a lounge deck, it's called, so that like if it doesn't feel totally safe to be like out and about at the pool or whatever, we can still like sit on our lounge deck and tan and like, we'll be kind of secluded from people. But nonetheless, I do feel safe going. Like I don't really have any concerns about it right now based on what I'm hearing about the situation down there and the way that things are reopening down there and also the way things are in Massachusetts right now. Like Massachusetts, the cases have been declining a lot. Like there's way less than there was a month ago or whatever, and a lot of things are finally reopening here. So like it feels pretty safe here, and I know Florida's been open longer than we have, so at the moment I feel fine going. But yeah, so because I'm going to Miami, I need to get my shit together. I got to eat healthier. I got to start eating the healthy foods I was enjoying before and trying more recipes that I wanted to try, and I've got to start working out again. We'll get there. But yeah, so every aspect of my routine is honestly just kind of thrown off. Even with my work, there's something about being at home that it just feels the same but different. I don't know how to explain it. Obviously I lived at home for years and years, but before I moved out, I was working, I'm still working at the same job, but I was leaving every day and going to an office. So I felt like I was more of an adult and, more on my own and stuff. But because I'm working from home now, being at home and working from home, I feel like I'm really back in my younger years, if that makes sense. Because it's I'm not leaving the house to go anywhere. It almost feels like I'm just living at home on summer break, which is bad. So that's another reason I need to get back into a routine, because I feel like I've just been so lazy, because I feel like I'm almost getting back in a younger me mindset. I don't know how to explain it. It's so hard to explain, but it makes sense in my head, and I don't think the words I'm telling you guys are making it make sense. But when I was younger, between semesters at school, or between years in high school, I was living at home, and I was just at home all the time, doing my thing, and I would go see my friends sometimes and whatever. And that's what this feels like now, because I'm not leaving every day to go to an office. So it just it's bringing back a lot of memories, weirdly enough. Just driving around my town, for some reason I've lately just been reminiscing so much on what it was like growing up here, and all my memories I had here. And just when I drive by certain places, it'll remind me of something that me and my friends did, or something that happened. And it's so weird. I get very nostalgic. I'm someone who I don't love change. I think I've talked about that before. I really don't love change, and I have a hard time adjusting to big changes in my life. It takes me a really long time. I think I talked about when I moved into my apartment, it took me months to really settle in. It was a big change for me, and it just took me forever. But it just I don't know, it makes me very nostalgic about the memories that I had growing up. And high school was a great time for me. I mean, I'm not going to say I peaked in high school, but I'm going to say high school was damn good for me. I had so much fun in high school. I have so many good memories. I really did enjoy it. I'm very lucky to grow up where I did. It was just it was a very sheltered place. It still is, but it was just it was safe. It was fun. It was small. Everyone knew everyone. It was just a really it was just a very good time for me. And I really enjoyed all of the times I had here. So now as I'm older, but I'm living back here again, it just makes me kind of miss certain things. I don't know. And it's weird because not a lot of my friends still live here. I'm sure there are people I went to high school with who do still live here, but at least the people that I still talk to and stuff, they don't really live here anymore. I'm kind of on my own now, so it's just weird. It's it feels like I'm driving around and it's the same but different, because it's I can't do any of the things I used to do when I lived here, especially with everything that's going on. I can't go to a lot of the places I want to go to because they're closed still probably, or it's just not the same. But it feels the same in some ways. It's so bizarre. It's I feel like I'm just driving around in a little time capsule. It's so weird. But it has been nice coming back. I'm not gonna lie. It does feel really good every morning to just wake up and go to my same Dunkin' Donuts I went to in high school all the time and get my coffee, and to be going to just all my same spots, the Target that I love down the street. And it's nice to be going to all the same spots. And honestly, moving away for a little bit made me really appreciate this place and appreciate how lucky I was to grow up here and to live here. And I think a lot of people have that whole oh my God, I can't wait to get out of my small town. And I never really was like that. I never really was dying to leave my small town like some people. But I did want to get out and see new things, but I definitely did not appreciate it quite as much as I do now after leaving for a little bit and coming back. There's just something that's very comforting about being here, and it does obviously feel like home. This is where I've lived almost my entire life. My family moved to this house that we still live in now when I was 2 years old. I have I think I might have said this in past episodes. I have like some memories of being a very, very small child. I don't know why, because I have a horrible memory, but for some reason I have some memories of like being a really, really small kid. And I can remember the day that we moved to this house, standing on the front steps with my sister and my baby brother. There was only 3 of us at the time. I can remember being on like our front steps, and it's just like a quick memory, but I do remember like the day we moved here. So we've been here for like literally almost my whole life, like 25 years or something. I think it'll be 25 years this fall. But yeah, it just like, it feels very comforting to be back, but it's just hard to settle back into it after being on my own. For obvious reasons, like I've just talked about. Like I really just, getting back into my routine just has been like, it's been hard. It's been throwing me off a lot. Like I just haven't felt like myself for a couple of weeks. I feel like my whole life is kind of just totally different than the way it was a couple weeks ago. It just, I don't know, it's hard. Like I said, I don't adjust to change well at all. I hate change. I don't do well with it. So trying to get my life like back on track, it hasn't come easy to me. It hasn't come naturally to me. And that's especially hard because I'm a person who likes everything to be so organized and so planned, and I like to have everything figured out. And just trying to like take a step back and like reset and just let things kind of happen right now, and like let myself slow down a little bit and just like do what I feel every day has not been easy. And like I do want to get back into a routine because I do think that'll help me feel a little bit more stable and just feel better. But it's just been hard. Like I just feel like I'm in such a weird place because it doesn't feel like when I used to live at home in a lot of ways, but in some ways it does. And I'm trying to like figure out like merging, being back here and like the way it feels to be back here with like the person that I am now, because I've changed a lot as a person, I think, in the last year. I feel like I'm all over the place right now, and I don't know if this is making any sense at all to you guys, but it's just, I don't know, there's something about moving back home after having been on your own and after having grown up so much that's just not easy. So if anyone else can relate, I would love to know. You can DM me on Instagram. I would love to know if anyone else can relate, because I just feel like my life's kind of upside down and I'm having a hard time getting it back on track and readjusting. And I would thought that it would be pretty easy because I was like, oh, I lived at home for so long, like it won't be hard to just go back home, but it actually has been. So I don't know, but on the flip side, there's a lot of good things about being back at home for me, which I said at the beginning of this episode, that I'm going to talk about. So first good thing, like I said, I appreciate it here a lot more. I just feel like I appreciate like the comfort and just like the vibe. I don't know, that sounds so stupid. Like the vibe of like my neighborhood and my town, it's just like, I really like it. Like there's just like a lot of green right now and a lot of like, open space. Like it just is very like nice and airy. And like I'm someone who really enjoys like the fresh air and like being outside and just like good vibes and feeling like I can like go drive around and stuff. Like I really, that sounds so weird, but I really enjoy that. So like being able to just like drive around where it's like there's not busy streets and stuff and just kind of being able to drive, I really do like that. But like some more tangible things that I enjoy about being at home. First off, I'm saving a ton of money. So, okay, let's talk about something for a second. I got myself into a lot of credit card debt over the last, let's see, starting when I was like 21, I think was when I got my first credit card. 20 or 21. I have gotten myself into a lot of credit card debt in the last 6 or 7 years. Like more than I'll even admit to. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. Like when I have told other people like, oh, you made me think it was way more money than that. It's not that bad in the grand scheme of things, but like no one should have credit card debt like that in their early 20s. Like you shouldn't do that to yourself. Like take it from me, don't do that to yourself. Do whatever it takes like to not be in debt, live below your means. Like don't do it, just don't do it. It's such a bitch to get out of credit card debt because your interest rate as a young person with very little to no credit is going to be so high. So if you can't pay your credit card off every month, the payments you are making, the interest is going to totally fuck you over, and it's not going to make a difference what you're paying. You're never going to be able to get out of it. And I learned that after a while because I had no concept of like money and credit cards, and I was like, screw it, I need a credit card, I'm going to get a credit card. So I really fucked myself over there. So basically, yeah, I got myself into a lot of credit card debt, and I've been working really, really hard to pay it off for the last like 6 years. And I wasn't making any real dents in it. It was only growing. It just was getting super shitty. So not last year. Wow. Well, okay. When I took my new job a year and a half ago, that did help me a lot because I got a decent raise from what I was making at my last job. So that did help me start actually making a difference in that. And the fact that I was not commuting to a job in the city saved me a lot of money in itself. Like, first off, the gas to get in and out of the city every day sucked. The highway that I take, there's tolls. So that was like $5 a day at least. Um, Parking, I would drive in. I should have been taking like the train, like the commuter rail around here, or the T or something. That's like the subway system, in Boston, Massachusetts, if you're not familiar. But I should have been like using public transportation because it would have saved me a lot of money, but it still would have been expensive. I drove just because of like the comfort of driving. It was a lot of money. Like parking in Boston is absolutely insane. So I was spending so much money just like commuting to my job. It was insane. I was spending probably between gas, tolls, and parking. I was spending anywhere from like $30 to $50 a day just to get to my job. It was absolutely absurd. So taking a job outside of the city, especially one that was literally down the street from where I grew up, was extremely convenient and saved me a lot of money right there. On top of making more money, really helped me start getting out of credit card debt a little bit. And then I got a promotion this past spring, which also helps because with a promotion comes more money, obviously. So I was very, very lucky that that happened. So that helped even more. I've been able to like really make some serious dents in my credit card debt over the last few months or so. And now that I'm at home for the next 5 weeks or so, I'm putting almost my entire paycheck towards paying off my last credit card. So then in the next like 5 weeks or so, I'm going to be like totally out of credit card debt. And I'm so, 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 so excited. Honestly, I did not understand the stress that it was putting on me until I started getting out of it, is when I started realizing like, oh my God, like the amount of money I was putting towards my credit cards to pay them off was crazy. And the fact that it wasn't doing anything because of the high interest rates was even crazier. Like, I'm not going to get into like the whole issue of credit cards and debt and money right now because that could be a whole episode on its own. But like, it was so stressful trying to pay that money off. So now being back at home and being able to like have a solid time frame, being like, this is exactly how much money I have left to pay off, and this is exactly how much I'm going to put towards it every week to be out of it, and like having an end date that I know I can hit, especially when it's so close. Like, I feel so good. I'm so excited that I will finally be done with my credit card debt. And I've also gotten smarter with using my credit cards. Like, now I have one credit card that is paid off, but it's got like a really good point system on it. So I've been using that for expenses that like gas and like coffee and stuff, just like little things that I do every week that I know I have the cash in my checking account to pay off, just so that I get the points, because then I can do cash back. So I've been doing that because it's just like a smarter way apparently to use your credit cards. I'm still learning, so don't take advice from me because like I got myself into this situation in the first place. But anyways, that's been a huge stress relief, and like I'm just so proud of myself that I finally am getting out of credit card debt. I don't even know if that's something you should be like proud of, to get out of credit card debt, because I'm embarrassed by the fact that I got myself into it. But I am very proud that like finally in like next month I'll be totally done paying off credit cards. I'm so, so relieved and so happy. And then on that same note, now that I finally am going to be out of debt and I can save a ton of money, like almost my whole paycheck once this is paid off will be going into my savings account, I'm going to finally buy the car I've always wanted. So my first car, I loved her so much. I had a 2001 Ford Escape. It was red. It was so cute. I loved her so much. She was adorable. I totaled her. I totaled my car when I was, oh my God, I'm watching my dad and my brother out the window. I think they're trying to like spray a bee's nest and the bees are coming at them, and this is hysterical. But anyways, so I totaled my car when I was 21. I'm not going to tell that story right now, but that's a crazy story that I can tell some other time. But yeah, I totaled my car really bad. I rolled it when I was 21. And I got another car after that. I was very, very fortunate that my parents bought me that new car. I don't usually honestly talk about that. Like, I don't talk about I don't like talking about money and like things like that. Just because I know not everyone is in that situation. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm not trying to like come across like, oh, my parents bought me a car. You know what I mean? But that's one of the reasons why I'm so, so proud to finally be able to save for a car is like, I've never been able to make a big purchase like that and say like, I did this and I worked my ass off to do this all on my own. So being able to buy this car on my own at some point this year, hopefully at the end of the summer, probably early fall, it just is something that like I'm so, so proud of. Like I mean, obviously I've had like big accomplishments in my life that I'm really proud of, but like this is something that for me just like, I don't know, it feels different. Like I'm really, really excited to say like I worked my ass off to get to this point, and I've worked really hard to get to where like I can actually do this and to be able to save that money. So it's really special to me, and it means a lot to me that I'm finally like in the position where I can do that for myself. And it's just like, it's an exciting thing when you know that you've worked hard enough to like be able to make a big purchase like that and you did it all on your own. I mean, I guess not technically all on my own, because if my parents weren't letting me live here, I wouldn't be able to save the money to do that so quickly. I would still be able to buy it eventually, but like originally I was thinking I wouldn't be able to get it until like next year. And the reason why I want to get it this year is because the car I have a Ford Escape now. I have a 2014 Ford Escape. I love her. She's great. I put her in sport mode. She whips around. Like, it's a great car. I do love my car a lot. But it's getting older. It has a lot of miles on it. And I want to get rid of it before it's not worth anything. I want to still be able to get some money back for it so I can at least put that towards the new car. So I'm trying to be smart about it and not just like ride that car into the ground, because then it won't have as much value. It doesn't have like a ton of value now compared to like what it would cost originally, but that's just the nature of cars. Cars are just a depreciating asset, I've learned. So yeah, I'm really, really, really proud and excited that I can finally buy the car I've always wanted, just because it's been a goal of mine for so long. And because of the credit card debt I got myself into, I just didn't think that I would be able to do that for a very long time. And it's making me really excited that I can finally say, like, there's an end date for it. You know what I mean? Like, there's an end goal in sight. Like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not using the right cliches right now, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I can finally see, like, this in the near future. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited. I have always, always, always wanted a Jeep Wrangler. I know that's like so tacky. Like every girl wants a Jeep Wrangler. I don't want a white one though, if that helps. I know every girl wants like a white Jeep Wrangler. I don't want white. I originally wanted red because, like I said, my first car was like a bright red Ford Escape, and I loved that it was bright red. So I don't know exactly what color I want to get yet. Maybe red, maybe like a dark gray, because I feel like that looks a little bit more like classy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'd be open to orange. Like I would love like a bright color Jeep. But anyways, I've always wanted a Jeep Wrangler, and they're just really expensive cars. They cost a shit ton of money, and I don't think I realized how expensive they are until I actually started looking into it. Like, it's a lot of money. But last fall, I was in California for work, and my rental car was I think it was a 2018 or 2019 red Jeep Wrangler Sahara Unlimited, whatever, and it was the best car. I fell in love. I literally, if I could have taken that car and driven it back across the country to Massachusetts and kept it, I would have. I loved it so, so, so much. And I always knew I wanted a Jeep, but I had never driven like the exact one I wanted. My dad used to have a Jeep. It was like a 2-door 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sport. And I liked it, but it wasn't a comfortable enough ride for it to be my everyday car. You know what I mean? Like, I loved taking that thing out and taking the top off and riding around on a nice day, but it wasn't something that I felt like would be comfortable for everyday driving. But this Sahara that I drove last year, that was the car. That was it. So I'm very excited to finally be able to buy that at some point this year. I'm doing everything I can to be smart with my money and save my money so that I can get there quicker. I was really hoping I'll be able to buy it over the summer, because I want to be able to enjoy it without like the top or the doors. But I don't think that's going to happen, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, this is something I'm making a big investment in, so obviously I'll have it for a long time. So there's always next summer, not the end of the world. Maybe we'll have like a warm September, October, and I'll still be able to take the top off. Who knows? But yeah, so that's another good thing about being at home, is I can finally save for a new car, because honestly, as much as my car is running well right now, when you can just kind of feel that like she's getting to the point where things are going to start breaking. So I kind of want to just, get it out now while I can, so that I can still get some money for it. But yeah, so that's another good thing about being at home. And then I think the last good thing about being at home is like, I have a lot of time now to kind of focus on myself. Like I said, like I'm getting older, like I feel like I've changed a lot as a person in the last year. Um, and I think it's good to just like be back home right now and kind of refocus and figure out what I want for my life. Um, and like being able to not worry about money while I'm at home is really helpful. Because I don't feel like I have to rush to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. Like I feel like I can kind of take my time right now. And that's nice because that's one less stress on me at the moment. Is just being able to figure out like, okay, so, once my debt's finally paid off, once I've figured out the car situation and handled all of that, like then what's my next step? Like what do I want to do? Sorry, I'm like choking myself. I got my Dunkin' with me. Doing great. Anyways, I think being able to just kind of like take the time to figure out like, okay, so once like all of that's done, I've started to like really set myself up for like a good financial future. And I don't want to make this sound like it's all about finances because it's not, but like money is a stressful thing. And like that's one thing that's very important to me is feeling financially secure and stable. So taking time to be at home to like set myself up well on that front so I don't have to worry about it and then just figure out like, okay, well, what do I want to do next? Like when do I want to be able to like buy a house? How do I start like saving for that? Like where do I want to move to? Like I don't plan on changing jobs. So like, I'm not going to be like moving anywhere crazy far away. Like I like my job and I want to keep my job. So like I do have some parameters around like where I could go. But you know what I mean? Just like figuring out like what do I want the next few years of my life to look like? And not feeling like I have to rush that and feeling like I can really take the time to just like think about it and figure it out and like see where the next few months take me. Like that feels good. That feels really nice. Sorry if you heard my phone buzzing. It's like on vibrate. It's on my desk and the microphone's on my desk and whatever. By the way, this workspace I have set up is like really cute and relaxing. I love that I have a window right in front of my desk now and it just like looks over my backyard and like my backyard is a very peaceful place. I really enjoy it. It's just nice. Like it's just calming. But anyways, okay. I feel like I've been talking for a long time now. That's kind of it. That's like my only real life updates, I guess. I know it's like a big change. Like, yeah, I moved out of my apartment. I'm living back at home. But I'm pretty excited for what the next few months at least are going to have in store for me. And like, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to like kind of like not starting fresh because I'm not totally starting fresh, but just kind of like resetting, I think is a better way to put it. I'm really excited to just take this time to like reset, spend a lot more time with my family, with my dogs. Like, oh my gosh, guys, my dog waking me up. Well, I have 2 dogs, but like Cody is one of my dogs and he's like my little angel. He can do no wrong in my eyes. He's perfect. He's my little baby. Having him like come wake me up in the morning again, I thought I would never get to have that again. And it's making me just so happy. Like, I'm just so excited to be able to see him every day. He's getting older. He's going to be 11 this year. So like, I'm not even going to say it, but because, yeah, it's sad, but he's getting older. So having the time to spend with him is just like, it's making me just so happy I could cry. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for today. Like I said, if any of you guys know kind of what I'm experiencing with like moving back home after being on your own for a while, or if any of you guys have any tips for like saving or new car buying tips, or if any of you guys drive a Jeep Wrangler and want to like give me a little video tour of your car, I would really appreciate it. I want to go test drive one right now just because, but I don't know what the regulations are in Massachusetts right now with car dealerships. I think they're open, but like pretty sure you have to set up an appointment. I don't even know. It just sounds like a hassle that I don't feel like dealing with right now, especially because I don't want to get myself so excited and know that it's like months until I can actually buy it, because then I feel like I'm just teasing myself. But anyways, if you like have a Jeep and want to send me a little video tour of your car, feel free. But yeah, send me all of those things on Instagram. You guys can DM me at thattimewhenpod. And also, if you enjoy this podcast, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean so, so much. But that's going to be it for today. So I will talk to you guys next Monday.